Hi, everyone. I'm here. And today I have a story about a woman who found out her husband was cheating on her. Amanda had been waiting all week for tonight, their 10th wedding anniversary. She had booked the restaurant months ago, bought the dress weeks ago, and memorized the little speech she wanted to give her husband, Ethan, a reminder of how far they'd come together. He was the love of her life. They built a beautiful life together, and even though their journey wasn't always easy, she knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that they would be spending not just their 10th anniversary, but many more years together. But Ethan didn't show up. She sat alone at the table, staring at her untouched wine glass, making excuses in her head. Traffic, work, maybe he forgot his phone. But when she finally called, the sound of laughter answered first. A woman's laughter. Amanda froze. Then Ethan's voice, muffled and distant. "I'll call you later." The line went dead. Her stomach twisted. She paid the bill, left the restaurant, and drove home with her heart pounding. When she opened the front door, the house was dark. Where was he? Was he with his parents? Had he fallen asleep on the couch? She walked into the bedroom, and her eyes fell on Ethan's jacket, which should have been hung up on the chair in the entryway. It wasn't. Amanda's mind raced. Why would he leave his jacket behind? Was he in an accident? Had he been drinking? The questions spun in her head like a carousel, each one more terrifying than the last. Hours later, Ethan stumbled in, smelling of perfume that wasn't hers. Amanda's voice shook. "Where were you?" Ethan sighed, sat down, and buried his face in his hands. "I can't keep lying to you, Amanda. There's someone else," he whispered. The words shattered her. All those hours of wondering, all that fear, all those questions, they made sense now. But somehow, hearing it out loud, seeing the guilt etched on his face, that was the worst part. She could hear the blood rushing in her ears. She thought she'd scream, throw something, break down. But instead, she felt strangely calm. She walked quietly to the bedroom, opened the drawer, and pulled out a small velvet box. Ethan looked up, confused. Inside was a gold watch, engraved with the words, "To Ethan, my forever love, Amanda." They had picked it out together. He'd wanted a classic piece, something timeless. She surprised him with it on their honeymoon. She placed it gently in his hands. "I was going to give you this tonight, but forever ends here," she said softly. Her voice was calm, steady, but her eyes burned with fire. The hurt, the anger, the betrayal, it was all there. Ethan recoiled, as if burned. His eyes filled with tears. "No, don't, Amanda. I'm sorry. Please, forgive me." He reached out for her, but she stepped back. "Don't touch me. Don't lie to me again," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Get out," she said, her voice surprisingly strong. "Get out before I call the police and press charges." He looked at her for a long moment, his face ashen. Then he slowly backed away, the watch still in his hand. He reached the door and paused. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Then he was gone. Amanda stood frozen for a moment, listening to the echo of his retreating footsteps. Then she sank to the floor, the full force of her emotions crashing over her. The pain, the betrayal, the years of devotion wasted. Tears streamed down her face as she clutched the velvet box to her chest. But as the morning light crept in through the curtains, Amanda began to feel a new emotion rising within her. Empowerment. She may have been betrayed, but she was done being a victim. The next day she woke up feeling resolute. The divorce proceedings were messy, but she was determined to come out on top. She hired a lawyer, sold the house, and moved into a small apartment. For a while, she lived for herself, taking long walks, reading books, and slowly healing her broken heart. One evening, she met a man named David. He was kind, funny, and respectful. They started dating, and soon she was falling in love again. It wasn't easy. There were days when the old pain resurfaced, when memories of Ethan and their life together came flooding back. But David was patient, understanding, and supportive. 3 years later, Amanda was getting ready to move in with David when she received a call from Ethan. His voice was strained. "Can we talk?" he asked. She hesitated. "What is there to talk about?" "I'm getting a divorce." "I want to see you," he said. "Why?" "Because I miss you. I miss us," he said. "I never stopped loving you." She could hear the desperation in his voice, but she felt no sympathy. "It's too late, Ethan. You broke the vows you made to me. You shattered my trust. There's no us anymore," she said, her voice shaking with emotion. "I know, but I'm willing to try again. I can make you happy, Amanda. I promise," he pleaded. "You can't promise me anything." "I don't want your promises. I want your actions," she said. "So what do you want?" "Tell me you hate me," she said. His silence was deafening. "Tell me you hate me, Ethan. Tell me you hate me." He hesitated. I can't say that," he whispered. "Then don't bother calling me again," she said, hanging up the phone. As the years passed, Amanda's life became a testament to her strength and resilience. She thrived in her career, traveled the world, and, most importantly, learned to love herself again. The memory of Ethan faded into a distant memory, a cautionary tale of a love that once burned brightly but ultimately turned to ash.